Good morning students, welcome back to next lecture. In today's session we are going to discuss one more keyword, that is final keyword in Java. So in today's lecture we are going to discuss what are the different uses of final keyword in Java. We do have many keywords in Java. Among those, three are very important keywords. Those are, one is final, the second one is super, and the third one is this keyword. All these three keywords are plays major role in Java. So in today's session we will be discussing about final keyword and its uses. Okay. So let's start the session. So for what purpose we use a final keyword? As I said that final is a keyword in Java. It is mainly used for three purposes. For how many purposes we use final keyword? For majorly three purposes we use final keyword. The first one is the first usage of final keyword is to define the constants in Java. What is the first one? The first one is to define the constants in Java. To define constants in Java. Okay. The second usage of final keyword is we can stop inheriting a class by another class if we use final keyword. We can stop inheriting a class by another class by using final keyword. The second one is we can also use this final keyword to stop method overriding in the subclass. Third usage is to stop overriding a method in the subclass. These three are the different uses of the final keyword. What are the three different uses of the final keyword? The first one is to define the constants in Java, and the second one is to stop inheriting a class by any other class in Java, and the third one is to stop overriding a method in the subclass. These three are the uses of the final keyword. In interview you may get a question like in what cases or in which situations we use the final keyword. The answer for that question is final can be used to define the constants, final can be used to stop inheriting a class by another class, the third one is final can be used to stop method overriding by the subclass. These three are the major uses of the final keyword. Among the apart from these three uses, we won't use final keyword in any other situations. Take it as granted, students, that apart from these three uses we won't use final keyword in any other situations. Okay, now let us see each usage with an example program. What is the first usage? The first usage is of final keyword is to define constants in Java. What is the first usage? To define constants in Java. How to define constants in Java? By using final keyword. The syntax I have given here. Before that we already learnt C, Python, C++, all these programming language in the last semesters, isn't it? How can we declare a constant in C, and what is a constant? First of all, tell me what is a constant, students? What is a constant? A constant is an identifier whose value cannot be changed throughout the program once we assign the value to it, isn't it? So then there comes one more thing, that is variable. What is the difference between variable and constant? Variable is an identifier which varies its value throughout the program. The name itself tells us that variable, it varies, the value will be varying, whereas constant, it is fixed. Once we assign a value to the constant, that value should not be modified or changed throughout our program. Okay, that is a constant. So in C programming we have used constant. So how can we declare or define constants in C? By using a keyword called const. We use a keyword called const in C to define constants. Const followed by some data type followed by some constant name is equals to value. This is the way we write const. So this is the way we usually define constants in C, okay, by using a keyword called const. Whereas coming to Java, if you want to define constants in Java, we use a keyword called final. This is a keyword which we use to define constants in Java. So what is the syntax of defining constants in Java? This is a syntax. Final keyword followed by data type followed by constant name is equals to value. This is a syntax of defining constants in Java. Examples I have given. If I want to declare an integer constant, I have to write like this. This is an integer constant. Integer constant. Okay, A is an integer constant. Similarly, B is a real number constant. Similarly, C is a character constant here. C is a character constant. So in this way we will be defining constants in Java. The first usage of the final keyword is to define the constants. How we can define the constant? By using final keyword final followed by data type followed by constant name is equals to value. So once I have given some examples here. Once I assign the value to constant, here let's take A is a constant here. If I assign a value to A in my program, throughout my program I should not change the value of A. It should be 10 always. I cannot change it. If I try to change that value, it throws an error. Okay, make sure. And the next one, we'll go with an example program also. Let's say an example program. This is an example program which calculates the area of circle. Okay, it's a normal. I'm not going to explain the program. My intention my intention will be on usage of the final keyword. Okay, this one. So this is an example of Java program. If you observe here, I have taken a class called final demo. I have taken one main method. Inside the main method I have taken one variable. Radius is a variable here. This is a variable and this is a constant. Pi is a constant. We know what is the value of pi. Pi value is always 3.141. So I have taken that as a constant here. Pi is a constant. I won't change that value throughout my program. So I have declared it with final keyword. Final float pi is equals 3.141. And what is and these two are to read the radius value. After reading the radius value, sorry, there should be radius here. Radius is equals to, okay. Once I read the radius value, I am going to calculate the area of the circle by using pi. So this is an example program which demonstrate the usage of the final keyword. Such kind of constants can be defined by using final keyword. Okay, fine. And what is the next usage of the final keyword? The next usage of the final keyword is to stop inheriting a class by another class. Using final keyword to stop inheriting a class by another class. If any situation comes like, if I want to restrict my class by not inheriting by any other class, if I want to restrict my class without inheriting by any other class, for that purpose I can use final keyword. Before the class, this is syntax of using the final keyword to stop inheritance. Before the class name we have to specify the final keyword before class name. If I write something like this, then this whatever the class is there, this class cannot be inherited by any other classes in Java. If I write final keyword before the class name, that means, what does it mean? It means that class cannot be inherited by any other class in Java. So when we declare a class as final, it cannot be inherited by any other class in Java. To stop inheriting a class, we'll see an example program for this. An example program I have given. Yes. If you see this example, students, I have taken two example programs. This is example program 1 and this is example program 2. Okay. In this example, this is a concept. This is a single inheritance concept I have used here. I have taken one class here. This is class A. And this is class B. Okay, class B is extending class A. Single inheritance concept I have used here. Class A, class B is extending class A. This is fine. No, there is nothing much to discuss in this example. Okay, coming to this example, here also I have taken a class called A and one more class called B. But what I have done here is, see, I have included final keyword class A. Okay, class A is a final class. What does that mean? I cannot any other class cannot extend this class A. If you see here, class B extends A. I have written class B extends A, which is a syntax error, because A is of what class? It is a final class. I cannot inherit final classes in Java. As class A is a final class, This is a wrong statement. It throws a syntax error. It throws a syntax error. I cannot do something like this. But whereas coming to here, yes, I can happily inherit class A from class B. Class B can inherit class A because class A is a normal class. But coming to this example, class B cannot extend class A because class A is a final class. If you put in class as a final, that class cannot be extended or inherited by any other class in Java. To stop inheriting a class, we use final keyword. Okay, that is the second usage of the final keyword. Coming to the third usage, what is the third usage of the final keyword? To stop overriding a method. We can stop overriding a method by using final keyword. The syntax of using final keyword to stop overriding a method is this one. Before the method signature, you have to place the final keyword. Final, this is the syntax of writing a method, no? Return type, method name, followed by some parameters, open the bracket and close the bracket. This is a method definition, okay? Syntax of method definition. If I put final keyword before the method definition, what does that mean? It means that that method cannot be overridden in any subclasses, okay? Fine. And I have given an example also how to write final. Return type I have taken it as void, M1, some set of statements here, okay? And we'll see an example program. This is an example program here. Again, I have taken two examples to demonstrate this without using final and using final keyword. See, this one is using the final keyword. If you observe here, I didn't use any final keywords here in this example. Class A contains how many properties? This one and this one. M1 is a normal method here, okay? And coming to class B is extending class A, means class A properties it will acquire. M1 as well as A will be acquired by B. Here again, if you observe, I have overridden M1 method. M1 method is overridden here. I can override M1 method in the subclass. We have that concept in Java. Okay, this is called method overriding. I can happily override the method which is present in the superclass in the subclass. But if you observe the second case, this is case 1. This is a normal case. Okay. And coming to the second case, that is using the final keyword before the method signature. I have used a final keyword here before the method signature. What does this mean? This method cannot be inherited by the subclass. Who is the subclass here? Class B is the subclass here. Class B extends A. Class B is extending A. So I can actually override this method. But if I try to override this method, what it is throwing? It will throw this one is a syntax error. I should not do like this. Why I should not do like this? Because M1 is a final. I have declared M1 as a final method here. If I declare any method as final, that method cannot be overridden in the subclass. As B is a subclass, I should not override M1 here, which is a syntax error in this case. Okay, so in this is the third usage of the final keyword. In how many ways we can use the final keyword? The first one is to define the constants, and the second one is to stop inheriting a class by another class. The third one is to stop overriding a method in the subclass. Okay, these three are the uses of the final keyword. Coming to so let's summarize the things what we have discussed till now about the final keyword. Final is a keyword in Java. Keyword means we have to write it completely in a small letters. Don't write it in a capital letters. Write it in a small letters. Final is used for three purposes. The first one is to define the constants. The first usage of the thing is to define the constants. The second one is to stop overriding a method. If you want to stop overriding any method in the subclass, we can use final method. The last one is to stop inheriting a class. Also we can use final keyword. So overall we can use final before the method. If we use final before the method, that method cannot be overridden. If we use final keyword before the class name, that class cannot be inherited by any other class. This is the summary of the final keyword. So students, hope you understand the lecture. In the next session, we'll be discussing one more keyword, that is super keyword. Till then, have a nice day. Thank you.